Hey everybody, fellow type 1s out there. This is Dr. Jody coming to you with my daily Facebook Live to help you figure out lots of questions about living with type 1. Today's question is, why do we go high in the morning and we haven't even had anything to eat, right? Does that happen to you? It definitely happens to me. In case you haven't found me before, my name is Dr. Jody Stanislaw. I've had type 1 for 40 years. I have my trusty Dex with me everywhere I go. Nice day today. Whoops. And I help patients with type 1 diabetes through my virtual practice. I could work with you, and I have online courses. But today is all about why do we go high in the morning, right? Why do we go high in the morning? Do you have those highs in the morning and you're wondering, I haven't even eaten anything? Yes, the reason why that happens is because of your hormone called cortisol. So cortisol is one of the many hormones in our body, and it is on a 24-hour cycle. Unlike estrogens in women that are on a 28-day cycle, we have cortisol, which is on a 24-hour cycle, and it peaks in the morning. Think of it as it tells the liver to put glucose into our bloodstream. And think of it as the body's trying to help us get some extra fuel to get going for our day. So you might see a gentle rise starting like 3, 4, 5 a.m. Or sometimes people see a perfect flat line of blood sugar as they sleep, but as soon as they wake up, then it spikes. So it is one of the many reasons that our blood sugar level can go high that has nothing to do with food, right? Did you ever know that? So our liver puts glucose into the bloodstream, and it does so 24 hours a day, which is why we have to take long-acting insulin. And I can help you set that right so you stay nice and flat through the night. If you don't already stay flat through the night, I'd love to help you. And our liver, so we have to take long-acting to counteract the glucose that our liver is constantly putting out. And the liver not only puts it out 24 hours a day, but it puts it out extra when cortisol is peaking. So when cortisol peaks, it tells the liver to put even more glucose into the bloodstream. So this is the answer. If you're going high in the morning, this could be why. Now, if you're high all night long, that's a different story. That could be you didn't dose enough at dinner, or you don't have high enough basal or background insulin. I can help you figure that out. That's what I do with patients all the time. I work virtually with patients, but I also have a great course that can, if you want to learn more on how to do that. So I'm passionate about helping us as type 1s get the education that we need so we can feel in control of our numbers, right? A healthy A1C is closer to 6. It's not 7, 8, or higher, right? And unfortunately, there's a lot of lacks, I feel like, in the whole diabetes world because it's just so hard to get good numbers. And, most doctors assume that we're not going to be compliant enough or something like that. And the reality is, I think most patients, as well as most doctors, just aren't well educated in all these nuances that we need to understand to really be able to thrive with type 1. So I've had type 1 for 40 years, and I've figured this out. I've had a really good A1C for a decade now, and now I get to help patients like you all over the world. So there's so many details that if you're feeling like, you're pulling your hair out because your blood sugar levels are on a roller coaster, I bet it's just because you haven't received all the information you need to figure out how to get them off the roller coaster, right? So this is a darn good line, right? That's my line for today so far. And this is what's possible for you too. So let's see. Lori has a question. Lori says, "Woohoo! Are you excited that I explained dawn phenomenon? You're just excited. Maybe you just like watching my videos. That's fun. Would a cortisol balancer help?" Well, that's a good question, Lori. If you're stressed out, cortisol is also the hormone that will be secreted in excess. So cortisol is also your stress hormone. However, there's a baseline of cortisol, even in the most relaxed person, that still peaks in the morning. So that peak is just part of the human body. And if you're a human, you're going to have a cortisol peak in the morning. So, and you don't need to balance that out. You don't need to suppress that. That's not going to be suppressible. But if you have so much excessive cortisol going on because you're stressed out, then yeah, some adrenal support will help, and also yoga and breathing. I mean, I've definitely seen, I was so upset. I don't know, it was a couple years ago, and I was writing this email, and I just put my Dexcom to the side because I knew I was going to go high, and I didn't want it to beep at me. And I was like, I know I'm going to go high, just don't beep at me. So I turned the high alarm off as I'm trying to find my peace, but I'm writing this email, and I'm, not pressing send for a couple hours because I know I need to sit on it, right? Well, 2 hours later, because I forgot I'd turned the high alarm off, I'd gone from 100 to 300. And that was just cortisol. So that was not my best day. So if you have a lot of stress going on, it doesn't even have to be that acute. It can also just be like, I'm stressed all the time. I'm stressed all the time. And yes, you'll actually need more insulin to counteract, the glucose that your liver is putting in because of excess of cortisol. So yes, if you feel like you have excessive stress, then adrenal support, deep breathing, yoga, any of the anti-stress strategies that I work with my patients on. You could work with me and I can help you do some breathing exercises, and I'll look at your supplements and help you with adrenal support. That's what I love doing with my patients. So great question. Hi, Manuel. Manuel's watching, and Jenny's watching, and Shanika is watching. Lori, dawn phenomenon. Didn't realize it was related to cortisol. Yep, it is. Oh, yep, high stress. Thanks for being honest. Marta is watching. Sherry, oh, hi, Sherry. I know Sherry, and Benoit is watching. I love this, you guys. I'm on every Monday through Friday, right around 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern. And I started just to give tips on how to keep the immune system strong since of this COVID time. And they say that people with diabetes have, a higher risk of getting sick, but actually that's not true. It's poorly controlled diabetes, or perhaps diabetes poorly controlled with other health complications. But if you're just doing great, your A1C is near 6.5, and you're taking good care of yourself, it's not going to put you at extra risk of weakening your immune system. Elevated blood sugar levels weaken your immune system cells' ability to work. So I came on probably 6 weeks ago now to just inspire you and give you tons of tips about how to get better blood sugar levels. So in terms of your dawn phenomenon, this cortisol blood sugar spike in the morning, you might need just a unit or two of insulin when you wake up. I tend to, sometimes I rise slowly, but I tend to kind of stay flat, a nice 80 or 90 as I sleep. And then as soon as I wake up and start getting active, my dawn phenomenon really goes up. And unfortunately, it's not every day the same. So what I've decided to do now is I just give myself a unit or two the second I wake up. Even if I'm 80, I give myself a unit or two right when I wake up. And then my cortisol spike either counteracts that insulin, or if it's one of those weird days that I don't spike, then I just treat myself to some fruit for breakfast if I start feeling like I'm going low. So nothing in diabetes is predictable on a consistent basis. We've got to be good at, adjusting and learning how to ebb and flow. And that's what I teach my patients. These pumps and doctors and technology, they like to put us in a box. Like, this is your insulin to carb ratio. This is how much basal you need. This is your correction factor. And, oh, wouldn't that be great if it was that simple? But it's not. We have to understand that dosing just based on carbs doesn't always work. That sometimes your correction factor needs to be higher. Sometimes it needs to be lower. So if all of this sounds confusing to you, I can help you figure it out. And we can either have a private call or you can check out my courses. I'm really passionate about getting all this information to you in an easy, affordable way. And that's why I took the last 2 years to make a bunch of online courses. I have one called Nutrition and How to Dose, which will teach you why carb counting alone is not enough. I have one called How to Get Off the Blood Sugar Roller Coaster, which is just the most basic, important information you should know, especially how to get your basal rate set correctly. And then the third one, how to exercise or how to master your blood sugar with exercise, which is good even if you don't exercise. It's important information to know because hopefully you're at least active sometimes. Maybe you go on long walks or, you're just busy around the house, right? We have to understand how movement affects blood sugar, right? I spent years just stuffing my face eating every time I was active to avoid going low. And if you're still doing that, you don't have to keep doing that. Once you become smarter on how to dose your insulin properly, then you can be active and not go low and not have to eat. So you can learn that in the exercise course, how to master your blood sugar with exercise. So my dream is to literally get, millions of patients access to these courses. That's why I work every day building my business and making connections with hospitals and doctors, because we need better education. I don't think type 1s are very well educated. And if you are, I bet you figured it out on your own. Or if you didn't and you had an incredible doctor, you are lucky, because that's not the norm. So I've got incredible courses. My goal is to get them to as many of you as possible. They're on my website right now, which is drjodyn.com. It's DRJODYN as in naturopathic, D as in doctor. And you just click on T1D classes and you'll see all those classes I talked about. Now, if for some reason you forget what the URL is, but you could go there right now. All you have to do to ever find me is just Google the words Dr. Jody Diabetes and my website comes up. So you'll see the T1D classes there, and you can also click on Let's Chat, and then my calendar pops up and you and I can have a Zoom chat just like this. So instead of me talking one way into my phone by myself, I could be talking to you and we could talk together, which I love. So I'm here to inspire you and to motivate you and educate you on how to get excellent blood sugar levels, which will give you a long and healthy life. And today's message was all about why the blood sugar level goes high in the morning. And there's a lot more to it than that. Every video that I give, I'm just giving you the most basic information, but it all demands more of a conversation, which is why I made the courses. So if you want to learn even more about this morning dawn phenomenon, that's covered in the How to Get Off the Blood Sugar Roller Coaster course. Okay. Because some people, like, for example, don't work out in the morning because if they work out, the dawn phenomenon is even worse, right? Or why I don't recommend big high carb breakfasts because you already have insulin resistance from the cortisol. Well, I don't really recommend high carb anythings that often anyways. So let's see who else we got on here. Lori, Marta, Sherry. Wim Hof breathing. Yes, that's so funny. Somebody just told me about that the other day. Bill's watching. Another Bill's watching. Lori, to be a textbook case. Nicole, Susan, I love your comments, you guys. So I'll be back tomorrow. I'm back on Monday through Friday, right around 3 o'clock Pacific, 6 Eastern. Comment below what you like. If you have questions, somebody asked me a question the other day in their thread. She said, what supplement should I take? And in the next video, I answered it. So write your questions. Check out my website, please. If your A1C is not near 6, you could be taking much better care of your body. And I promise you my courses will help you dramatically. Okay, so drjodyn.com is my website. Thanks so much for watching. Bye for now, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.